You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Get that stuff out of here! It's Southwest Bias!
It's Southwest Bias live from Studio K, and yeah, you either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. We're talking more Kevin Durant today because what else is there to talk about in the sports world? It appears to be the only thing being talked about. And what's happening now is this entire thing is taking a turn. The entire narrative is taking a turn, making Kevin Durant the villain in these trade rumors. This morning, it seems to have really spiked up in terms of the vitriol maybe towards this. We have a tweet here that NBA Central sent out that we're going to show here in a second. And it took a report semi out of context in an effort to show that Kevin Durant rejected a trade to Minnesota. Kevin Durant didn't reject anything. Kevin Durant doesn't have the power to reject anything. And I don't say that in a demeaning way. I don't say that in any way other than he does not have a no trade clause. So Kevin Durant can't shut down any trade or turn down any trade. And the fact that they're making it seem like he's the villain kind of upsets me, to be quite frank. Now, I'm the first guy to say Kevin Durant needs to go, and not because he did anything wrong, but because the Suns have to trade him to put themselves in a better position for the present and the future, right? But that does not mean we turn him into the villain in the story because he simply says that he does not want to play somewhere, right? He has the right through back channels and through his agent to say he doesn't want to play somewhere. But guess what? The Minnesota Timberwolves have the right to say, we don't really care. You're under contract for a year, and we think we can convince you to stay or win a title with you for a year, right? And to me, Kevin Durant's doing nothing wrong if he's the one that's leaking his preferences. And like we talked about yesterday, yeah, he likely is. It's subterfuge season, but Kevin Durant has a right to express where he'd prefer to be, but it doesn't mean that the Suns have to actually trade him there, and it doesn't mean that the team that may be trading for him has to actually listen to that. They can take the chance. So to turn Kevin Durant into a villain over this, and I saw some people in Suns Twitter and Suns discourse around claiming that, oh, Kevin Durant's going to ruin this. Kevin Durant's going to force his way somewhere and it's going to be detrimental to the Suns. He's not a villain for saying what he wants. I also don't really have to care if he gets what he wants, nor do the Suns. The Suns don't have to make anything go the way he wants. But he has every right to say it. And I do not want to see Kevin Durant, bad guy. Kevin Durant just trying to do what he always does. This narrative about Kevin Durant is pretty ridiculous, if you ask me. And I don't think this is headed for some messy divorce like we've heard. In a divorce, you both kind of get to express what you think is fair. And sometimes a mediator decides that. Well, guess what? In this case, the other teams and what they're willing to offer and what they're willing to take a chance on is the mediator. If the Toronto Raptors decide that they want to make a move for Kevin Durant, despite the fact that he might not re-sign with them, and the Suns think that's the best deal, which I do, despite other people not agreeing with me, then make the deal. If Minnesota, if reportedly they did change their mind because of what Kevin Durant said, but if they come back and they say, hey, it's time, we're willing to do this, let's get back in discussions, and you decide that's the best deal, then send Kevin Durant there. Kevin Durant got his way with the Golden State deal, and that may wind up backfiring on the Suns in the long term. But he got that option once. It's not happening a second time, right? And I think it's fair in the middle of the season to say that in a place that he has history and everything that came with it. Fine. You acquiesce to that. But you don't have to this offseason. You don't have to send him where he wants to go. You just need a willing participant to make the deal. I really hope it's Toronto. I do. Because I think that's the best package you're going to get. And I know some people, and I love Gambo, but Gambo's one of the guys saying that's not a good deal. I think it is. You're going to get 2 starters likely out of that deal and a top 10 draft pick. And sure, maybe it's not the strongest draft we've ever seen, but that's still probably the best you're going to get out of a Kevin Durant deal. And if you find that disappointing, it's probably because your expectations were too high in the first place about what you're going to get. Kevin Durant's not the villain, and maybe he will hurt his trade value a little bit because Minnesota drops out, right? Okay. But again, he's within his rights 100% to say that. The whole arc that we're headed towards, I do not like it. And I am not the biggest Kevin Durant defender in the world. I've told you how much I can't stand his stands out there on the internet. And nobody would ever accuse me of being one of those, including Kevin Durant himself. But I think there is nothing wrong with him going down the path he has, and nothing wrong with the way this is playing out. We knew this was going to be a dance. We knew this was going to be a negotiation. And we knew this was not going to be some easy, you're going to get the world for Kevin Durant like a Desmond Bane deal. We knew it was going to take time. And I had a feeling that we were going to go down this road if it took as long as it is, that Kevin Durant was going to get the fingers pointed at him, that he's to blame for not wanting to go somewhere. But maybe that's just my Southwest bias. A big shout out to everybody in the chat. Michael, Ashley, Wow Factor, Dagoon. Got plenty of people in there. And Michael says, KD is not the villain, but he is lowering his trade return to the Suns, by what he's doing. Yeah, maybe that's the case. But again, nothing wrong with him doing it at all. So I want to welcome in the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach. My friend, we're back in our Teletubby world. Shane, do you think this whole painting Kevin Durant as a villain is a path that we should be going down?
No, I don't think that. I think that if you believe that Kevin Durant was, one, doing this maliciously, you're insane. But 2 is the villain in this, then you are looking at athletes like they're not humans. Because that's the biggest thing with this type of stuff. Kevin Durant is looking out for himself. If you were told by your job that you had to move across the country and you didn't have any choice in where you were going to go, it'd be a little unfair. And yeah, I know these are athletes and they're making a lot of money and people hate that argument sometimes, but at the same time, like you have to look out for yourself. You have to figure out the best situation for you. Like I think it's ridiculous to think that somebody looking out for themselves is selfish and is doing this with bad intentions.
Well, and the difference is, if your company, if I told you tomorrow, I'm sorry, Shane, but you're going to be a producer at PHLY and you have zero say in it, you know what you could tell me? Screw you, I quit, I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Athletes can't do that.
Yeah.
This is as close as they can get to doing that, right? And their agents are paid to protect their interests. They don't care what the team wants, and that's their prerogative. That's what they're supposed to do, is be there for their client. But again, the Suns don't have to acquiesce. If Minnesota or Toronto wants to take the chance, then trade him there, right? If they're willing to, and you feel that's the best deal. But I feel like this whole, we got to hold it against Kevin Durant. No. Andy is saying Katie isn't looking out for us with these leaks. Katie doesn't have to look out for anybody except himself.
Exactly. He doesn't owe this city anything, really.
No, honestly, he doesn't owe anybody but himself anything in this, because the NBA is built that way. And the scale is tilted towards ownership. And you know what? Player empowerment can become a big problem sometimes. There can be issues that come with it, as is with anything. But he has his right to say, I don't want to play in Minnesota.
We're seeing that problem in college sports right now. We're finally giving the athletes the power to choose and to transfer and to leave, and it is causing issues. But the same people that argue against Kevin Durant are the same people that defend the NIL world. Like it's not an easy issue. It's a complex issue. That's why there are conversations about it.
Well, and it was an issue that these systems were built long before the players had massive say in it, right?
Yeah.
Of course it's going to favor a team and an owner. Of course these owners want salary caps because they can't handle their own business and spending, so they need somebody to monitor it and keep them from spending it and keep things fair, right? So, yeah, if a player's going to look out for themselves, I don't have a problem with it. And if you're painting him as selfish or not doing what the Suns want or need, yeah, that's the whole point. He doesn't have to. It's not indentured servitude with this. He gets to use what ability he has, what leverage he has to try to make what he wants happen. And Kevin Durant wants the villain in a lot of things. He was the hero in OKC and Seattle when he was there. And the fact that he chose to, yet again, use his right to go somewhere else because he earned his free agency, everybody hates on him, right? I mean, that's what's so ridiculous to me. I don't think there is a villain in this story. I think this was a marriage that didn't work out. And that eventually you look around and you go, this probably isn't healthy for either of us.
I think the villain is the decisions the Suns made.
Well, okay. In terms of adding Bradley Beal, like, are we saying
building
James Jones in the front office is the villain because they didn't build it right?
Well, I don't think you can put the blame on a single person because a lot goes into this. Ishbia had a hand in this as well. The biggest issue is the way the roster was constructed. Clearly something was wrong and it didn't work and it didn't mesh. Like, I think that's the biggest issue. You can highlight hiring the two coaches that coached Kevin Durant. Those didn't work out. Like, it's the decision making in all this. It's not a single person.
Is that a villain or is that just mistakes, right? Because it didn't work in Brooklyn either for him.
Yeah.
Technically, it didn't work in OKC for him. I don't think that means there's a villain.
No.
I think villainy requires very calculated, I want to hurt X, Y, and Z.
And the villain is the rest of the NBA.
Well, yeah. Honestly, I think the villain is the basketball gods. The villain is
social media.
Social media. The villain is the freaking David Stern, the ex-commissioner. God rest his soul. But like, there's villains, but I don't think anybody in this situation is. And to paint Kevin Durant as that yet again, I don't think it's fair to him or anybody else. But that again is just my Southwest bias. It is Spirit Week, and see the little logo in the corner over there on the screen here at ALLCITY and PHNX, and I need your help. I don't ask you guys for much. I slave over this hot microphone to give you 30 minutes of the best sports takes and information that you're going to get anywhere on the internet, and I want you to hit that donate button on the screen to help us with Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America. We're trying to get 10 million, if we get 10 million, $10,000. If we hit 10 million, you guys are unbelievable. But if we can hit $10,000 by Friday, that is our goal. And I need your help for another reason, a more selfish reason, but you can feel altruistic because you're helping the kids. I want to beat CHGO, DNVR, PHLY, and DLLS. I want to raise more money than all of those, all right? I need you to up that. Let's see how much in the next 15 minutes we can donate to Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America. That is all I'm asking for that, and throw a little hate at Killer Rex in the chat.
Hey, the donate button is right underneath the chat box on your browser. If you do so, we will read your next comments, basically like a super chat, and we will also give you a shout out.
And I will read it in the Nookie Monster voice if you want. Coming up on the other side of the break, I give you a top 5 list you don't want to meet, or you don't want to miss either, and a topic, a debate topic that's so hot, you won't believe it. Coming up next. Oh, I told you about my friends at All Pro Shade Concepts. And you know what? You want to throw a little shade at some people that you don't like? That's your prerogative. But if you want to throw a little shade in your backyard, our friends at All Pro Shade Concepts has you covered. It is hot as all hell out there right now, and you want to cool down a little bit. And All Pro Shade Concepts has the window coverings, the shades, everything that you need to make your backyard and house a little bit cooler in these hot summer months. I did it, was super easy. They came out, gave me an estimate, showed me everything that all the materials and everything that they were going to use. I said that day, let's do this. A week later, they showed up. They installed everything. They cleaned up. I've never seen my house cleaner than the area that they worked in because they just took care of everything, right? And then they called to check up on it as well to make sure everything was working fine. So we want you to get a free estimate. Call 623-204-1476 or visit All Pro Shade Concepts today for your free estimate. And you know what? Mountain America Credit Union could help you get there as well, because right now they got double rewards going on through July 31st. That's right. It's like, what is that? 6 weeks of rewards coming to you. 2 times the points on rewards credit card purchases through July 31st. You need it. Use your Mountain America Rewards card and watch the points pile up like so high. You're gonna get so many points, but guess what? It's not just the points. You're not collecting for collecting's sake. You're gonna wind up getting some great deals on travel rebates, gift cards, events tickets, and so much more. And you're getting double the points on gas, groceries, travel, home projects, like maybe a shade for your backyard. Whatever you want to do, you can redeem your double report points as soon as you get them. So it's a limited time only. Take advantage of it while you can. Visit macu.com/double, and you're going to get that today. Loans on approved credit. Offer can change or be withdrawn at any time. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply. All right, I told you, I'm going to do an Espo's big board here. No, we're not talking about draft prospects. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit next week. But you see all these big boards around, and it's projecting this, that, and the other thing by somebody that maybe does or doesn't know what they're talking about. Well, my big boards are different, and I am an expert on everything that I big board here. And today, it's going to be the top 5 things I won't miss when Kevin Durant's gone in Phoenix. Number 5 on the big board today is the term Big 3/super team. I never care to hear that again, and it appears it might actually be dead in the NBA as well. I don't want to hear the Suns talk about a big 3. I don't want to hear about a super team. You know what I want to hear about? A team that wins damn basketball games. That's what I want to hear about. And that's a big one that I won't miss. I don't need to hear that term in reference to anybody, but especially the Phoenix Suns again. Because in today's economics in the NBA, big 3s, super teams, none of it works. It's not going to work, and that's the end of it. And I hope we never have to hear it again. Number 4 on the big board today, we're going to unveil it here. KD versus Book. I am sick of the, Kevin Durant is better than this, or Devin Booker should be this. I do not want to hear 2 teammates pitted against each other again in Phoenix. And I cannot wait until this is not a discourse on social media anymore. I really, really don't want to hear that, because it divided this fan base for 2.5 years over the dumbest debate possible. Because guess what? They're both damn good, and both deserved respect, and both deserve to be cheered on. So I will not miss the freaking debate about those two and whether they're helping or hurting each other or any of that. I am so glad that that will not be part of the discourse. Hopefully soon. Hopefully today, if we can make it happen. As fast as the Suns front office can get this done, I will be extremely happy. Number 4 on that big board, it's Book versus KD. Number 3 on my list today of things I won't miss when Kevin Durant is gone. Fake trades. I know I used Espo track the other day to show you some things. And yeah, we're all prone to it a little bit, but I'm a big believer in friends don't let friends use the trade machine. And I know I'm crapping on my PHNX Sons brethren and the whole trade machine Tuesday. And sometimes it's fun. But at this point, I don't want to see another Kevin Durant fake trade. I don't want to see names tied to Kevin Durant unless this is what was the trade. This is what went down, because I cannot stand any more fake trades. Mostly because most of them that wind up getting floated on the internet don't even work within the salary cap, which is ridiculous. If you're going to do fake trades, at least make them work. Let's take a look at number 2 on the big board. It's the push alert panic attacks every time Shams Charania breaks something. Guess what? The other day when he sent a push notification when ESPN did that the starting lineups were going to be shown on ABC and Shams was breaking it, I about had a damn heart attack because I thought, oh no, great, Father's Day is ruined. Kevin Durant was traded. I will be so happy when my nerves are not frayed anymore to deal with the stupid push alerts, the stupid, what's going on Twitter? Oh my God. No, I cannot wait for it to be done. And number 1 on the list, and you're probably not going to all agree on this, Kevin Durant stands. I cannot wait for you to get the hell out of Suns social media. Go bother the Toronto Raptors or the Minnesota Timberwolves or the Spurs or the Rockets or hell, the Memphis Grizzlies. I do not care about you. I want you gone out of everybody's mentions in Phoenix. I cannot wait for the KD stands to be gone. That is Espo's big board. I saw a couple other things. People said turnovers. I think that's fair. I will not miss turnovers after that and the ridiculous turnovers that came. Somebody said number 1 should have been the Bielefsance. And you know what? I agree. I never should have come up with the term the Bielefsance.
Yeah, that was horrible.
It was bad. It was a bad term. It was misguided. It was just bad in general, right? And that is the problem. You know who else I won't miss is Killer Rex at some point. I love that he's become a bit on this show. But yeah, those are the 5 things I won't miss when the Kevin Durant deal is finally done. And I told you, it is Spirit Week here at PHNX. And one of the things we're doing, and today in particular around PHNX and around all of ALLCITY, is Musical Chairs Day. And I decided to bring somebody in to have one of the hottest debates that we possibly could have, right? This is big around the internet, bigger than KD, bigger than anything else we've discussed. And I'm bringing in you one expert that can actually help me discuss it. It's one Leah Merrill, former Coyotes host and friend of the program. I had asked her to actually host the show today, and she said, why would I want to do that? So I said, well, come on and be a guest.
Hello.
First,
Wow.
I want to talk.
My debut.
It is your debut on Southwest Bias. You will be a reoccurring guest. Great slide in.
Thank
Very
you.
SNL of
Thank
you.
you.
First off, Florida won the Stanley Cup.
They did.
Yesterday. And to me, that was another reason I sit there and I think Arizona deserves a hockey team. I wore my deactivated fan shirt because hockey works in non-traditional markets.
Gary Bettman said it.
Works in
On
Vegas.
the ice.
Works in Florida. It should work here.
Yes.
It's just going to take an owner that gets it right.
That's true. Yeah. Gary Bettman said it on the ice. Hockey belongs in sunny places or something like that. I tweeted it on my account. It was more articulate than that. Yeah. Warm weather team's been in the Stanley Cup final for like 5 or 6 straight years. So one day, Arizona, one day. But I'm not here to talk about that today.
What are you here to actually talk about?
You might think the PHNX, former PHNX Coyotes host, PHNX hockey host, you would think I want to talk about hockey. But no, I want to talk about something else that is appointment viewing in this great country.
What is
the
that?
thing that you sit down every night, you look forward to, You get to chat with people on the internet about it. It brings people together.
The nightly news.
No, I'm not talking about the news. I'm
Sports
not
Center.
talking about sports.
Okay.
I'm actually not talking about sports.
Okay.
I'm talking about Love Island, Espo. And here's the thing.
Love Island.
There's been a lot of NBA offseason chatter, right? Especially the KD stuff you just talked about with KD. You've been talking about KD all week. And, it's gotten people on the internet talking, like Jalen Brunson.
He's genuinely
He said,
confused.
I am genuinely confused. There's been a lot of chatter in this offseason. Everyone was like, oh my God, what is he talking about? All this stuff with
Did
the
he get
Knicks.
traded? Yeah.
No. He said, damn, my bad, y'all. I was talking about Love Island. This is the show that is taking this country by storm. And I am here to tell you why you need to watch Love Island USA.
Okay, first off, Jalen Brunson has a lot of time on his hands, so it makes sense why he can watch Love Island. But I have fought this. You guys have talked about Love Island in this office. You and Emma, our head of social. You guys have talked about this, and multiple years people around here have talked about this. I can't get into it. I tried like 5 minutes of one, and granted, I was sick last week.
You
when I
have
tried.
to let it marinate.
Like, why? I've gone down the Bachelor path. I've watched that. I actually think it's kind of like sports, but mostly because my wife got into it. Petey, our friend from hockey, made me watch some naked dating show on HBO Max from a foreign country where literally you just saw the person naked before you saw their face. That was bizarre. I'm very, very apprehensive about jumping into another dating show.
Well, first of all, like Jalen Brunson, you do need lots of time. This is a real-time dating show. It airs 6 nights a week. You do not need to watch Saturday nights. It's kind of a useless one. So 5 days a week.
Well,
you
why
need to
is
be
Saturday
committed.
night useless?
Because it's just like the recap,
Couldn't I just watch Saturday night and not the other 5 nights?
No, you don't want to do that.
Okay.
Because you will miss the drama. You do need to be dedicated, but what better time? Listen, especially for those of you in Arizona, it's summer. What are you doing? You're not going for a walk in the evening. No. Plus, we live on the West Coast. We get the benefit of getting the episodes dropped at 6 p.m., unlike everyone on the East Coast that has to wait until 9. 6 p.m., sit down with my dinner on the couch every night, appointment viewing. Sports, who needs it?
What makes it so good, though?
I
get the drama, but what is the drama? I got drama every day.
No.
I sit here and talk about drama for 30 minutes.
Well, what better drama to watch unfold than one that has absolutely no effect on your life? It is like watching a social experiment unfold. It is like seeing everybody you've ever met in your life, a representation of them in this pressure cooker environment. These people are sleep deprived. These people are extremely good looking. There's so many like societal things at play. I watched this whole TikTok last night that this kid was saying Love Island is essentially a Greek theater performance. There's so many different roles. There's so many different characters. There's the villain. There's the person who's stirring the pot. There's the person who's just innocent and wants nothing to do with the drama. And you get to not only watch it all unfold, but you get to have power. America gets to vote. You get to see democracy in action. We just saw it last week. I will not spoil this season on this show. You need to go watch it. But America voted, and America's vote, everyone was almost unanimous in the vote, and we got to see the decisions that we made unfold. It's like a butterfly effect. It's beautiful to watch.
You just described this program. Beautiful people, life problems. Some people not wanting the drama, other people wanting it. Like you have described this program as well as the KD trade deal. So maybe I am in on this. Maybe I need to watch this. Obviously, I have to make sure that the daughter's asleep.
Yes, I would say
I'm guessing this is not child appropriate.
My favorite thing about it is it's got a dash of Survivor in it. There's physical challenges that they do. It is awesome.
So I should watch this over Bachelor in Paradise.
Bachelor in Paradise is only once or twice a week. Bachelor in Paradise wants to be Love Island, and I say that I've been watching the Bachelor franchise for like over a decade. Bachelor has nothing on Love Island. Love Island, to me, is the supreme reality TV show. It's perfect for summer. Here, everyone's probably so sick of talking about the Kevin Durant drama. One day that drama is going to be gone, and you're going to have nothing to talk about, nothing going on. Sorry, the baseball season's long. It's kind of boring. Like, there's only a couple WNBA games a week. You need this summer. You need it. Come join the discourse.
She's Leah Merrill, our head of content, the woman that put this show on and greenlit it. So you can blame her. I think all free agency and trades and sports should happen on Love Island as well. Maybe I'll give it a try. Big shout out to the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach, for pushing all the buttons today and pushing your buttons too while he gave his opinions. You can follow the show at PHNX_sports. You can follow me at Espo. Leah, where can they follow you?
At Leah Merrill. Let's talk Love Island.
You can talk Love Island there. And remember, you either die a hero or become the villain or watch Love Island. Ahoy, hoy!
We all silly like the mayor.